You're listening to the Art Marketing Podcast, and today we're going to be talking about a free print giveaway, $150 in ad spend, and 400 Messenger subscribers. All in a week. Not just that, though. There's way more. And when I say more, I mean more spelled M-O-A-R, all caps, which, as many of you know, is actually a combination of more plus roar. What's the too long, didn't read it version? We're talking about running a free print giveaway contest with Facebook Messenger and ManyChat, posting that contest on both Facebook and Instagram, backing those posts up with an ad spend, and all the glorious results that followed. You ever seen the movie Dances with Wolves? Kevin Costner, Plains Indians, great movie. It's just an epic, incredible movie, right? It's getting a bit old now, but there's this profound scene in the movie in which the Indians, with Kevin Costner, come up to a herd of buffalo, and they've been slaughtered by white hunters. Read, they killed the buffalo, they took the coats, and literally left the rest of the buffalo there. Now, this was a travesty for the Indians, as they know how to use every part of the buffalo, right? So is this wasteful? Hugely. Disgraceful? Perhaps. Why the buffalo were almost extinct? Most likely. That's not how I saw it, though, and that's not the takeaway for me. What I took away is that the white hunters in the movie were likely lousy marketers, and the Indians were geniuses. Let me explain. All that time, energy, effort to travel, track, and hunt, and finally kill these wonderful animals. They're putting up their camp and taking camp down. I mean, have you ever moved? They're dragging the teepees across the plains and going up and down hills, the whole thing. Tremendous amount of work to put yourself in a position to be able to hunt these amazing creatures, right? And feed your family. Now, to go through all of that time, energy, and effort work, and to just take the coat and not realize how much they left the table on doing that, it's ludicrous, I tell you. So in hindsight, I have to imagine that I've always been a marketer, because that is literally the lens that I saw this through, even when I was a child and I watched this movie. So as marketers, we expend such an amazing amount of time, energy, effort, and yes, dollars, whether we're talking about art shows or running ads on Facebook or email marketing, whatever. Getting people to check out our art, or software in my case, is really, really hard. It takes a tremendous amount of work and energy to get them there. So once you do get them there to your website, you really do have to understand how to fully capitalize on it to be successful, right? It's why we hammer things like the fishbowl technique and all it entails for when you're doing local art shows. Episode number 5, by the way, I'll put it in the show notes. Or why we recommend pop-ups on your website so you can capture an email before they leave, right? There's a whole bag of tricks that help you do this, but you need to do all that you can, all that you have in your power to continue the conversation with these website visitors, because otherwise they come, they leave, they're gone. So the case study / tactic that I'm going to cover today, I think, is without question one of the most amazing techniques I've literally ever seen. And talk about using every part of the buffalo. I think this technique would do the Plains Indians proud. The sheer amount of moving pieces in this thing is it's just staggering to think about. I might even go as far to say that this is the most powerful list generating plus, more on that in a moment, activity for artists that I've ever seen. And then the craziest part about it is what perhaps I like more than anything is it solves for the chicken and egg problem. I.e., I'm just getting started. I don't have an email list. I've exhibited and sold for years, but never gathered emails. How do I get some momentum going? I just started. I just launched my website. How long does SEO take? I have no traffic. All of those, it solves for all of these. How to get started driving traffic to your websites as quickly and as effectively as possible. And social sites, everything for that matter. You can be an artist that just got started yesterday. Run this technique a few times, and in a few months, have a solid list to market and make sales with, all without leaving the comfort of your studio, which is just even more amazing, right? So even better is that there's now just an absolutely great arbitrage to run this technique. Not everybody's figured it out. So once everybody else does figure it out, it's going to lose some of its effectiveness. So you, loyal listeners, you get in early at the running. Think Bitcoin around the $5 mark. Oh yeah. So for this particular episode, I knew I needed an actual case study, right? I had to put my money where my mouth was, and you didn't want to hear about how we at Art Storefronts use this to hawk software, which, by the way, we literally just did The contest ended a couple of days ago, and it was a home run. But anyway, so what we did, grabbed an artist that's on the Art Storefronts platform, incredibly talented artist, I should say, named Matthew Laka. Is from Quebec, from Canada. In addition to being just an absolutely remarkable painter and nice guy. Most people flip out when they see his work. I certainly did. It's crazy. Link in the show notes to it. And I don't even want to describe his style. It's just insane. But also, the dude is just an absolutely straight hustler when it comes to his marketing, by which I mean there are only two kinds of people in this world, lifters and leaners. This dude is a lifter. He really partnered with me on this project and did a tremendous amount of work. And I can't underscore that enough to get the results that we ended up getting in this particular case study. So again, I'll put in a link in the show notes to see his work so you can check it out. Highly recommend you do that. And, moreover, there are just so many different moving pieces to this tactic. I figured, the plan is to drop this episode sort of telling the story to the best of my ability in terms of the case study. And then in terms of the next episode, I'll bring Matthew on the podcast and then let him kind of give the learnings on this from his angle, straight from the artist's mouth, so to speak. So in addition to that, my team and I are also going to go crazy on all the screenshots and embeds and videos and all the steps that we took to achieve this. So it really will be easily replicable in your own art business, right? So let's talk about the big picture. What did we do here? What exactly went down? Let me kind of just throw out a rough outline. This whole thing is essentially running a contest, right? Nothing new there. We used Matthew's Facebook page and his Instagram accounts to give away a free print of one of his works, which is a Vincent van Gogh piece that he's done. Now, in order to enter the contest, you had to leave a comment on a Facebook post or click a link on his Instagram profile. They were both the ads on Facebook and Instagram too. Once his followers did that, we used ManyChat plus Facebook Messenger to handle the rest of the experience. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, probably a good idea to hit pause on this thing and go listen to episode number 18, where I cover Facebook Messenger and ManyChat in detail. Again, link in the show notes if you need to get to it that way. Now, the goal with this technique was to generate as many Facebook Messenger subscribers in ManyChat as possible, so that Matthew can broadcast to these guys in the future, right? Why Facebook Messenger subscribers? Instead of say email, the open rates and the click-through rates are insane. The open rates and click-through rates it just doesn't even make sense how powerful they are. Like I'm seeing on some of my broadcasts, 80% open rates and 80% click-through rates. I mean, that was email in like 1992, 95 maybe. So the goal of this was to get as many subscribers as possible. And it ended up being so much more, which is incredible. So what are the prerequisites? What do you need at the most basic level to get this done? Something to give away, right? In Matthew's case, it was a print. But Patrick, I only do originals. That's the only thing I have to sell. Then give away a t-shirt, okay? The what is sort of irrelevant as long as it's something cool that represents your art that your potential customers, buyers, friends, fans, followers would like to enter a contest to win. Right? So you need something to give away. You need a Facebook fan page, a business page for your account. You need a ManyChat Pro account. Start at $10 a month. You need a Facebook ads account and a budget for the ad spend. You need a website set up to sell art, and you need a desire to hustle. Got to be a lifter. So let's go through it. For him, the free print, again, was a Van Gogh. It was a 13 by 19 on fine art paper. We created a Facebook and Instagram post. Both of these are regular old free post, organic post, right? And I'll put screenshots of both the Facebook post and the Instagram post, as well as the ads in the show notes. We decided for this particular contest to run it from December 7th to the 13th. That was the duration, so 6 days in total. We stitched the Facebook post to ManyChat via their keyword growth tool feature. And I'll just read what the post said, just to kind of give you the context. To celebrate the opening of my exhibition, The Animal That I Am, at the Livart in Montreal. So he had an exhibition running that we kind of dovetailed this with. I'm giving away a free print of my Vincent van Gogh portrait, size 13 by 19 on fine art paper. All you have to do to enter the draw is leave a comment and tag a friend. The winner will be announced next Wednesday the 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on my fan page, Matthew Laka. Good luck, Matthew. There you go. So if you tagged a friend, you were entered to win. Brilliant, right? So not only did those that leave a comment see it, of course, but many times their friends came and saw it, were introduced to his work for the first time, and entered the contest as well, which is amazing. Now, a short disclaimer, I still need to get to the bottom of this, but I've since learned this might actually, when I say this, to order to enter the contest, tag a friend, that might actually be a violation for the terms of service of Facebook. So I need to do some more digging on that, but I've run the same technique a few times now. And even if it is a violation, yes, you might not be able to do the tag a friend part, but you know what? Have them answer a question. What's better, green or blue? Answer in the comments. You're entered in the contest, right? So I got to get to the bottom of that, but I don't want to make that the part of it. So after they left the comment, they entered the ManyChat bot sequence we created, and more on that in a second. Now, that's Facebook. For Instagram, because Facebook Messenger is not integrated into Instagram, we used another growth tool in ManyChat, which allows you to enter the sequence just from clicking a link. And so we took this link, we put it in his profile, and we also put it in the Instagram ad. If you clicked it from Instagram, let's say you're on your phone, of course you're on your phone, it automatically just boots up Facebook Messenger and you're into the sequence, right? And so that's how it went for Instagram. So for Instagram, there was no tagging a friend or any of that going on. It's just clicking you're in. So we have an organic post on Facebook announcing the contest. We've got one on Instagram, and now they're both stitched to the bot sequence. So I think he also posted this on his personal profile, as well as a few Instagram story slides that he went in. All of that was running up and going. Now for the bot sequence itself, and again, it will help a bunch if you've actually been through a bot sequence on Messenger so you can understand what this experience looks like, to really taste it and feel it, right? And touch it. It is really, really cool. But here's what we did for his. We split folks into their desired language. This kind of threw a wrench, was complicated because in the official language in Quebec is French. That's his primary language. So we had to split the French speakers and everybody else. So we did that with the bot sequence. We provided a video of Matthew saying some words. We let people know they were subscribing. And I get this is a podcast. This is insanely difficult to visualize, right? But don't worry, I've got you covered. ManyChat actually lets you embed into a web page what these bot sequences look like. And, they're essentially mind maps. I don't know if you're familiar with a mind map, but that's what they look like. They look like a mind map where all these relationships are put together and there's little arrows and you go here, there, everywhere. It's really cool. Don't worry. It's going to be in the show notes. You're going to be able to look at this in detail. So I'm just sort of lightly brushing through it. So that was the sequence that we used, and you can see it. And at the end of the bot sequence was a link back to his website, so it was not a dead end. And we asked users for one more step, and this is a really cool step. So it's worth mentioning. Never have a dead end, right? I mean, at the end of this whole sequence, we asked folks to do one last thing, and they did it in droves. The numbers, I think, were well over like 60, maybe even 70%. I think that ended up checking out his website and the show he was having. You're going to be able to see it if you look at the sequence in the show notes, but we had a link that went and talked about his gallery show that he had going on. So it wasn't a dead end at the very end of the sequence. It wasn't just like, hey, thanks for entering the contest, you're awesome. It was, hey, go check out my website. So there was one more step at the very end of it. Let's talk briefly about the ad spend. Now, in terms of ads, the total ad spend was $150 US, right? I ran a few different campaigns. And to briefly sum them up, I ran ads only to warm traffic. What is warm traffic? We covered this. Listen to episode number 3, link in the show notes, but not all traffic is created equal. So warm traffic means these people already knew Matthew. In this case, it was a combination of his email list, his remarketing audience, so visitors to his website, and fans of his Facebook page. And I used the exact same targeting for both Facebook and Instagram. And, for Facebook, I set the campaign objective to page post engagement, right? Because this is a contest. All I wanted people to do was leave a comment. And so page post engagement, or page engagement, I think is what they call it now, is what was the best campaign objective. And so what that allowed me to do, being that was my campaign objective, is went on, made an organic post on Facebook, a regular post, and we turned that into the ad. So we didn't even have to create an ad for Facebook. It was literally just turning that post into an ad. I mean, you could just as easily do this with a boosting post feature, depending on your level of sophistication and understanding with Facebook ads. For Instagram, I did create a specific ad though, right? He had the organic Instagram post where we had to play that little game where link in my bio, check the link in my bio. And so we did that for the organic post, but we had to create a separate ad in Instagram, which is what I recommend doing, because then you can create a CTA in it, like, click learn more. You put that in the ad copy. Click learn more, to learn about it. So there was a separate Instagram ad. And so I think all in, we averaged about a $25 a day spend. And again, all the traffic was warm traffic. People didn't know him. But, right, because we were asking folks to tag their friends, at least on Facebook, we got a ton of folks that were introduced to Matthew's art for the very first time. So awesome. But let's talk results. So over the 6 days, running this contest ended up generating 400 Facebook ManyChat Messenger subscribers he can now broadcast to. If we take the cost of the print plus the shipping plus the ad spend, I mean, the print was like $40 shipped. The ad spend was like $150. All in, we'll call that $200, right? $200 US in. We're looking at about a 50% per subscriber cost, 50 cents per subscriber. Now, keep in mind, a subscriber in Messenger, given the open rates and click-through rates, at least as it stands right now, early 2018, is many, many more times more valuable, in my estimation, than an email subscriber, because it's easier to get their attention. So it's like you look at those numbers alone, and this exercise looks like a worthwhile endeavor already, just based on the ManyChat subscribers, right? 50 cents per subscriber, I'll take that all day long. Like, how long does it cost to exhibit in an art show, let alone your time, or to run a paid campaign and a bunch of traffic at your website, right? Like, or even the fishbowl. Like, how long is it going to take you to get to 400 essentially email subscribers, but better than email subscribers? 400 is a great size list. That's a great Kickstarter when you're rolling with 400 subscribers. So the fact that we were able to acquire those for 50 cents each is just profound. I think it's amazing. And, in this particular case study, was that the objective? Yes, it was. But what I'm here to tell you, it was not even the most valuable part. Remember the buffalo, the lame buffalo story? I mean, that was literally just the coat. So in addition to the subscribers in Messenger this tactic achieved, he generated a number of new Facebook fans for his Facebook page, right? 308 to be exact, which is a pretty good number. He got 150 new Instagram followers, also pretty good. In addition to those followers, and as a result of the bot sequence, we drove traffic back to his website. Remember I said the bot sequence wasn't a dead end at the very end of it. We asked folks to go to his website. Well, people did that in droves, as I said. And on his website, he had a lead capture form, so a pop-up enabled. And so what ended up happening is that drove about 50 additional emails to his list. So he had 50 new email subscribers. So let's sum that up quickly. 400 ManyChat Messenger subscribers, 308 new Facebook fans, 15 new Instagram followers, and 50 emails, all for whatever I said the spend was, $200. That's insane. That's amazing right then and there, right? But guess what? There's more. There is more. We haven't even covered the biggest win from all of this. What? Yeah, no kidding. There's an even bigger win. And I think the biggest win, by far, in my estimation, yes, I thought ahead of time this would be a nice benefit, but was totally blown away by both the quantity and the quality of the conversations that he had with potential buyers, collectors, and his first-time fans and buyers. And this was quite literally the most amazing result. It kind of just blew me away. It was staggering, really. So it was almost just like looking at it and watching the whole contest go down. It was almost like he was on some sort of digital speed dating session with his customers and potential customers. It's like he opened a text message conversation with 400 of them over a week. Now, some of the conversations were just emoji-based. Well, let me just say, so by entering the contest, in addition to going through this whole Messenger bot flow, which is all automated with no human touch, you also have the opportunity to have a conversation with them in there, right? So a lot of people started conversations with them at the end of the bot sequence. And again, it's sort of the easiest way to think of it if you're not introduced yet and you haven't listened to the ManyChat or gone through a ManyChat bot sequence is it's sort of just like opening up a text message chain with your potential buyers, collectors, fans, and customers. And so that was amazing. And now a lot of these conversations were just like text messages, simple and emoji based. They said something like, thanks, I love this contest. This is awesome. I'm so fired up to enter. And Matthew just responded with a thumbs up or, like the pumped bicep or, the hands praying, like the standard emojis that we all see in our text message chains. But a few of the conversations ended up being rather more than that. I mean, these are back and forth conversations. He was getting to know his fans, his collectors, his buyers. And in all cases, these customers and potential customers strengthened the bond and emotional connection they now have to an artist that they follow. I mean, and this part was just so profound watching this go down, because these are a lot of people that have been maybe sitting on the sidelines and followed them for a while and being Facebook fans and Instagram followers. And now, you know, the digital divide had been broken down, and Matthew was actually having conversations with them. And I mean, one conversation I saw, and I'm not going to go divulging the details, but I saw he had one conversation with a collector. And when I say collector, that's how he thinks about his fans and followers. And I read out of that situation, a high net worth individual interested in originals, right? This is the customer everybody wants as an artist. And I see that him and Matthew are chatting it up, going back and forth. I mean, this message chain is like 30, 40 times. I mean, it's like they're sitting down having a beer in a bar, just talking things through. The collector sent a photo, said, hey, here's what I look like. Hey, how you doing? This is great. Oh, I'm interested in this. Oh, are you interested in this? Are you interested in that? Yeah, no. Heck of a conversation, right? The very end of which, essentially, this collector said, hey, you go ahead and paint this thing. I'm in. I'm ready to buy it. And so I'm watching that conversation go down. I'm going, what? This is insane. This is amazing. There's no way he would have had that conversation that easily. Like, running this contest, getting into this sequence just triggers this chain of events. It's an example of when you execute, great things start happening. Like you know, fishing for a good time starts with throwing in your line, the Tom Waits line I love, right? So I thought that was impressive, right? Now, earlier, I have to say, I mentioned the hustle, right? That I the lifters and leaners part, and Matthew's a lifter. Don't think you can just run a contest like this and sit on the sidelines. He did some lifting on his part to get this conversation rolling and going. And obviously, on the next episode, I'll really drill into all the various different things that he did. But let me just say what he did. He responded to every single solitary comment he got on both Facebook and Instagram. And this is like 500 plus comments in his case. He was responding to all the chatbot conversations. And again, some of those chat conversations were just emoji, but some were like legit back and forth conversations. And so there was a pretty serious workload on his part to keep this whole thing going. And from, you know, some of our back and forth conversations during it, he's like, oh man, we gotta, this thing's gotta end. I gotta get back to my studio, get back to painting. But he did a lot of work. And so I wanted to mention that. I think it's important to mention it. So let's recap quickly. Subscriber growth, social following growth, emails captured, actual conversations went down. What's not to like about this, right? And you're probably saying, are you finished, Patrick? Is that it? Because this sounds amazing. I want to go try it now. To which I say, nope. Here is where we break out ye old playbook, right? And if you don't know about the playbook, it's covered in episodes 17 and 19, link in the show notes. You should listen to it. But we're going to borrow some of the tradecraft. We did borrow some of the tradecraft from our marketing playbook, our holiday marketing playbook. Or what do we call it? Called art marketing? I don't even know. The playbook. Okay. And we applied it here. So as the contest ends, you're going to have to contact everybody that opted in and let people know who the winner was. And so we went ahead and did that. But in addition to doing that, we offered everybody that entered the contest as a way of saying thanks. And it just so happened that it worked out that this was right around the holiday time. It was right around Christmas, right? It was just ahead of Christmas. And so we offered everybody that entered the contest a deal. So essentially, hey, Tom, sorry you didn't win the contest. It was this guy or this gal. I can't think it was a gal. I'm pretty sure it was a gal. Anyway, sorry you didn't win, but thank you so much for entering. As a result of you entering, I wanted to offer a discount. So we're going to go ahead and offer a discount of 30% store-wide, or I think it was just on his prints, on 30% on my prints that expires in 7 days, right? We always put some scarcity in things. And so we emailed everybody in Messenger, ManyChat, that discount was going on. Okay, so how did that go? Actually did pretty well for him. He ended up selling 12 prints to 8 people, totaling a little bit over $500 in revenue was the figure. So another nice little bump to close things out on this. And you know what's interesting for him as an artist is just to go down a little bit of a rabbit hole. Is he is not someone that has is not someone that has a fully developed print business, right? Like he's used to selling originals. That's how he's operated his business up till this point. And so adding the print business is new to him, and it's almost like adding, it's almost like adding like a completely new silo to his business. And so what was also amazing about this is he starts to think more seriously about that aspect of his business. It's like, yes, I'm trying to sell these originals, which go for many thousands of dollars, but am I ignoring this other potential silo I could have in my business, which is selling prints? And it's like, okay, if this contest just did 500, how do I take that 500 to 1,000? How do I take that 1,000 to 5 to 10 to 15? Like, am I ignoring a serious part of my business? And for him, I think that was a profound discovery. But again, I'll make a note to ask him about that further, to probe him on that in the next podcast episode. So let's take a moment to take all of this in. And I think when you do, it just becomes clear how profound of a marketing tactic running a free print contest or whatever you're going to give away can be when you run these contests on Facebook and Instagram and stitch them to Facebook Messenger and have a spend in there too. I mean, it's amazing what you can do. So number one, stay tuned for the next episode in which I'll bring Matthew on and we can talk about how this whole thing went on from his perspective. Number two, my team and I have really thrown the kitchen sink into the show notes on this one. So be sure to come check out all of the visual references we have compiled on this one. This whole process has got so many moving parts. It's crazy digital. You want to be able to see these resources and get a better picture. And literally, I mean, this is like a opus. I mean, the post is so long. So I really, mandatory, not optional, mandatory. Come check out the show notes. This is episode number 20, artmarketingpodcast.com, and you can get those there. Number three, we have some amazing episodes coming in 2018. So please do subscribe to the podcast in iTunes and give us a rating on iTunes. It really does help us out. Right now, at recording time, we have approximately 42 reviews done, and I've formally committed to stop drinking until we get to 50. Now, when not drinking, I become irascible, and my wife does not like it. There are times when I even yell at the dog for no reason. Please, 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 leave us a review on iTunes. Let us get over the 50 review mark. Let me get my lips around a heavily hopped, yet refreshingly smooth IPA again. Thank you. Number four, in terms of new episodes, I can just say this, believe me when I say it, this will not be the last one on Facebook Messenger and ManyChat. We really do believe in it. And, we are the eat our own dog food type folks here. So we're ramping up all sorts of implementations of it. And working with it quite heavily. And we just, we believe in messaging as a form of communication. The world is changing right now, and messaging, text messaging, bots, it's just the future. It's happening. It's going to be more prevalent. So I really want all of you guys to think very seriously about it. Think about how you can implement it in your business, start to touch it, start to taste it, and get way, way, way ahead of the curve. And, I think moreover, this tactic just represents an amazing way to grow your list. That you can market to going forward. And no matter what type of artist you are, and no matter how big your current following, read, all of you can run this, run the playbook. We're providing it. Just copy exactly what we're doing. It just works. Number five, Happy New Year. And always, as always, have a great day.